it's funny, when we sat down, we did the interview together, he finally copped to the fact that after we won championships, he was like, okay, I can just relax and coast over the summer because I know I got a teammate who's going to be training 8-10 hours a day. I was like, see, that's the BS.
That would piss me off.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's the issue.
Right.
That's the issue. But also, it became it's not something that we couldn't have worked out either. Because we've been doing it, right? But I got to a point in my career where it was the rumblings, and some of it created by him, that Kobe can't win without me. And it was like, hold up. No, it's not true.
Right.
It's not true.
Right.
And I'm not going to retire and have people hold that over my head. I said, no, let's find out.
Yeah.
So it was just time to go separate ways.
2000, 2001, that's when it really shifted a little bit. I think Cole really felt like he was being asked to sacrifice a little too much. That was the year where it changed a little bit from some of the tension that great teams do need to a little bit more like one guy is maybe standing in the way of the other. For the rest of us on the group, we just always made sure that both guys understood we're not picking a side.
Imagine this. Picture LeBron James teaming up with the prime Shaquille O'Neal. You really think he'd ever walk away from that? You think he'd let his pride get in the way of 6, 7, maybe even 8 rings? That sounds crazy, right? But that's exactly what went down in Los Angeles, and people been hiding the truth about who really tore apart the greatest dynasty that never even got the chance to exist. They should have been even bigger than Jordan's Bulls. For real, just think about it for a moment.
I'm gonna ask you a crazy question. After we split apart, were you trying to get more championships than me?
Oh, absolutely.
You were?
Absolutely. I knew you were going to get one because of the energy, going into Miami and D-Wade and everything that was there. I knew you were going to get that one. So I knew I had to get at least 2 or 3. I wanted you to get that.
The Lakers had 2 top 75 legends, both in peak form, both unstoppable, with the greatest coach in NBA history running the whole show. 3 straight titles should have turned into 6, easy. Instead, everything fell apart in the wildest collapse the sports world had ever seen.
Egos get in the way. That word, my team, will mess you up. A lot of necessary stuff that shouldn't have happened because of the ego. And it was probably my fault.
If you had the wisdom you have now back then, how many championships you feel like you guys could have won?
7.
7?
Because the reason why I got traded, it wasn't about me and Kobe beef. It was what they wanted me to take less money. I just should have been like, all right, it's your team now. I know what I'm going to do. I'm still going to do my 28-10. All right. But I was like, nah, I want 150. If I had all over to do again, I probably would have had a meeting with the family. What y'all want to do? Want me to take less money, take a less role, stay here, or you would still want me to be Shaq? See, it's that ego. The ego still got me what I want. I still won one, but I would have liked to have stayed there the rest of my career.
And here's the part that'll make you heated. Lakers insider Gary Vitti finally let the real story slip. It wasn't just Kobe and Shaq beefing. The real villains were right in front of everyone the whole time. Phil Jackson, the so-called Zen master, was actually stirring the chaos. Jerry Buss, the love donor, chose money over greatness. And the dudes who were there for all of it, Derek Fisher, Rick Fox, Karl Malone, Gary Payton, they've been keeping quiet, protecting what really happened. A team can only take so much before everything breaks, and that whole thing snapped into pieces. Today we laying it all out because the 2004 Lakers didn't just lose the championship, they pulled off one of the biggest self-destruction moves ever seen in pro sports. Let me show you how deep it ran.
A team is like a family. And you may get mad at somebody in your family. You might get angry with your mom or your dad or your brother or your sister. But you don't stop loving them. And that's the difference. In that era, we stopped loving each other. And when that happened, people started choosing sides. This really bothers me.
Yeah, no, I know it does.
Because we should have won 10 championships. Okay? It's easy to blame Kobe, and it's easy to blame Shaq. What about the rest of us? Including me. People chose sides. Players chose sides.
Right.
Okay? Coaches chose sides. The fans chose sides. And it was divisive, and the whole thing crumbled.
Back in 2003, the Lakers added Karl Malone and Gary Payton, two Hall of Famers chasing a ring for basically nothing. They took minimum deals just to link up with Shaq and Kobe. Even Magic Johnson was hyped, saying this squad would bring back Showtime. 4 Hall of Famers in the starting lineup. Vegas had them as heavy favorites. But from the first day, Phil Jackson was already setting traps from the inside. Robert Horry even revealed it later when he said Phil liked it when there was conflict of some sort. The so-called Zen master was straight up playing messenger games, telling Kobe what Shaq said, then running back and telling Shaq what Kobe said. That's not coaching. That's psychological warfare on your own squad. Imagine that. The guy who's supposed to keep the team locked in is the one creating tension on purpose. And why? Because Phil Jackson had already decided he was done with the Lakers. He got his three-peat matched Pat Riley and started thinking about writing his tell-all book and stacking money. But every book needs a villain, right? And Phil wanted someone else to take the blame. Here's the part nobody talks about.
Remind me of that one time Phil Jackson was a little crazy.
It wasn't crazy, it was just different. So Phil had this thing when he go, he wanted you to look up. He wanted you to call a play. So one time we didn't look up. So we get to a timeout, and he looks at Robert Horry and he goes, "Hey, I'm your master. When I whistle, you look up." Robert Horry said, "I'm from Alabama. You ain't my goddamn master. I don't play that."
That's crazy.
Yeah, he said that.
So then, how did it get resolved? What happened after that?
But it was just he understood.
He was like, "Oh, my bad."
Yeah.
Phil Jackson told Jerry Buss at the All-Star break that he wouldn't return if Kobe came back. Just let that sit for a second. The same coach who won 3 titles with Kobe was secretly trying to push him out the door. Then after the 2004 finals collapse, Phil had the nerve to tell Buss, "You can't trade Shaq. He's the most dominant player in the league." And Jerry Buss hit him with a cold reply. "I am gonna trade him, and it won't matter to you because you're not coming back as coach either." That moment flipped everything. But Phil still wasn't finished. He dropped his book the last season, calling Kobe a juvenile narcissist, saying he was uncoachable, selfish, and immature. He painted Shaq as lazy and overly sensitive. Dude torched everybody in that locker room. Think about this. Phil got $30 million from the Lakers, won 3 rings, then lit the whole franchise on fire just to sell a book. And here's the wild twist.
I'll give you a story of the stuff that was frustrating. There was a year there in 2003 where I had 40 points in 9 straight games. Right? Shaq was out. It was a toe thing. So Phil comes to me before the stretch, says, "Kobe, we need you to take over the offense." I'm like, "All right, cool." So that literally,
say no more.
I got it. Fine. I got it. So that literally started the streak of 40 straight games, 40 points in 9 straight games. Shaq comes back from injury and Phil goes, I still continue to do it, right? And then Phil calls me to his office, goes, "Hey, we're starting to lose the big fella." What do you mean? Well, he's not getting the attention. This 40-point streak is starting to kind of take away his fire to prove something, right? So I need you to start dialing it back. I'm like, "What?" He says, "We're going to lose him."
Phil came back a year later and won 2 more championships with Kobe. So was Kobe really uncoachable? Or was Phil Jackson the most manipulative coach the game has ever seen? Because if we keeping it real, the person who truly killed that dynasty was standing on the sidelines the whole time. Jerry Buss was the owner who picked his wallet over building a dynasty. Shaq wanted an extension. 3 championships, 3 finals MVPs, still dominating the whole league. And Buss still didn't want to give a max deal to a 30-year-old center. So what did Buss do? He let the media spin everything as a Kobe-Shaq feud while he sat back and protected his pockets.
Jeannie gave the 2-year, $48 million contract to Kobe Bryant. And Jeannie isn't Jerry, okay? And Jerry won how many championships while he was running it during the 33 years? 10. Guys, Jerry Buss was possibly the greatest owner of all time in sports. Won 10 championships in 33 years of owning the team. Think about it. When Shaq came up to him one time and Shaq's like, "Hey, Miami Heat wants to pay me this." He says, "Really?" "Yeah." He says, "Go get it."
Yeah, go get it, buddy.
It's like, I'm going to go with Kobe. Kobe's the future. You're not. And Shaq's like, "Really?" "Yeah, this is my team." "No, you won the 3 championships, but go get your money. I don't think this is your season. I think it's Kobe's season."
Shaq even admitted it later. He said, when it came to him leaving, Kobe could have spoken up, But why would Kobe defend Shaq when Bus had already made his choice? Jeannie knew it too. Once Bus leaned one way, everything else was just noise. If Bus pays Shaq, gives Phil a raise, and tells Kobe to chill for a couple more seasons, the Lakers win in 2004. They win again in 2005, probably 2006 too. That's a six-peat right there. At that point, people would have been saying, Jordan who? But Shaq doesn't get a free pass here either. He came into the 2003 training camp out of shape again, and Karl Malone, a 40-year-old man, checked him right to his face. Malone told him straight up, if a guy pushing 40 can outrun you on the court, you should feel embarrassed. That hit hard. And Shaq's response? He ran to the media and said the team was fine without Kobe, while Kobe was dealing with his legal situation in Colorado.
Kobe, they're doing a big celebration for you the last game. A lot of us are going to be there. Can you promise me one thing?
What's up?
I need 50 that night. Can you do it? The last home game at the Staples, can you give us 50?
More than two.
No.
The full team is here, he said, talking about the same teammate who carried the offense when they needed him most. That's your leader. That's your most dominant player. And when the tension hit the breaking point, what did Shaq do? He pointed across the locker room at Kobe and told reporters, there's the problem, not the triangle offense. Shaq refused to run, showed up out of shape, pushed for a new contract, but somehow he kept saying Kobe was the whole problem.
So I'm with Kobe. So we got a private jet. Up front is a table of 4. They're playing cards up there. And Kobe sits in this one seat, and I sit here, and then Shaq had a bed. We were spread out, and I'm watching Kobe like this, and I'm hearing dudes like yap about him. Like, I'm not going to say names, Ty Lue. I'm looking, acting like, you know, I don't know what they're talking about, and I'm hearing. I was like, this can't be fair. And I go, and I sit next to him, and he goes, oh, what's up? And I go, you're not listening to anything, are you? He goes, no, I'm listening to them. They think I'm on. Really? He goes, yeah. I said, doesn't bother you? He said, nah, I know who likes me, who doesn't. I'm cool with that. He said, I don't hang out with them anyway. My friends are in Italy.
Then in 2008, after Kobe lost the finals without him, Shaq hopped on stage and rapped the line. Tell me how that tastes, acting like he just scored a victory. A grown champion behaving like a salty ex. Wild. And Kobe? Wow, Kobe. His obsession with proving he could win without Shaq was so intense that he ended up tearing the whole dynasty apart just to make a point. In the 2002 to 2003 season, he told teammates he'd hook them up with free Adidas gear if they passed him the ball, more than Shaq. That really happened. Robert Horry even confirmed it. Kobe was putting up more shots than Shaq, the most dominant force in basketball, because he was basically bribing teammates with sneakers. And the craziest part, he didn't even follow through. He switched to Nike and left them empty-handed. Phil Jackson said players were literally asking for Kobe to be traded. His own teammates wanted him out, but Kobe didn't care. He needed to be the centerpiece. He wasn't trying to play sidekick for 2 more years, even if it meant 3 more rings. Kobe needed that spotlight immediately. No waiting. The 2004 season was pure chaos, a full-on masterclass in dysfunction. Kobe was flying back and forth dealing with his legal situation in Colorado, asking the Lakers for better planes, and even telling Mike Dunleavy he wanted to join the Clippers. The Clippers. That alone showed how messy things really were. Meanwhile, Gary Payton couldn't get the triangle offense down and straight up admitted, I was trying to fit in instead of being Gary Payton. Derek Fisher lost his starting job and said he played angry for half the season. Rick Fox talked about everyone's personal swagger and separate agendas. This wasn't a team. It was a toxic workplace with championship-level talent. Then came the finals versus Detroit, and Kobe eventually admitted, on the Pistons thing, that's my fault. I didn't get Gary, I didn't get Karl, I didn't get the new guys on board enough. But here's what he didn't spell out. He was so focused on proving he didn't need Shaq that he never truly led the squad the way they needed. In Game 3, the Lakers dropped just 68 points, 68 in an NBA Finals game. They got crushed by a Pistons team with 0 superstars because they were too busy battling each other to battle Detroit. It was painful to watch, but here's what really hurts to think about. What if Shaq had humbled himself and showed up in shape every summer? What if Phil Jackson actually coached instead of instigating conflict? What if Jerry Buss had benched either Shaq or Kobe for just one game to wake them up? One decision could have changed everything. Just one game to send a message, that's all it would have taken. What if Kobe had accepted being the second option for just 2 more seasons? Shaq even admitted in 2018, "We weren't really together. You have to be together to win a championship." No kidding. You and Kobe were the most gifted duo the league ever saw, and you let personal drama crush a once-in-a-lifetime run. They could have won 8 championships, easy, 8. Instead, Shaq grabbed one more in Miami, telling everyone he proved he could win without some scoring guard. Kobe answered with 2 more in LA, always getting asked if he could have done it with Shaq. Both of them spent their entire careers trying to prove they were right. But you want the real reason the dynasty fell apart? It wasn't just Kobe versus Shaq. It was the disease of more, the exact thing Pat Riley warned teams about. Everybody wanted more. More money, more credit, more touches, more authority. Phil wanted more cash and another book deal. Buss wanted bigger profits. Shaq wanted more money without extra work. Kobe wanted more recognition as the main guy. Even the role players weren't immune. Derek Fisher said he was angry about losing minutes. Gary Vitti broke it down perfectly. Although Shaq and Kobe had issues with each other, everyone else within the organization failed to do their part to help the situation. Everybody failed. The coaches, the owner, the front office, the players. The whole thing collapsed because nobody wanted to sacrifice for greatness. They all picked their own interests over greatness. And that beautiful reconciliation story they keep selling you, it only happened because tragedy forced it. Shaq and Kobe didn't magically fix things. It took Kobe passing away for Shaq to finally speak the truth. At Kobe's memorial, Shaq stood there crying, saying he wished he had called, wished they had worked it out. He had years to pick up that phone, years to say, "Hey, maybe we both messed up," but his pride wouldn't let him. Both of their egos were so huge that it took a loss that deep to create real perspective. And Phil Jackson, he came back and won 2 more rings with Kobe, proving he could have managed all the drama the whole time. He just decided not to. He chose chaos because it made his story bigger, louder, more legendary. The 2004 Lakers weren't beaten. They committed straight-up basketball self-destruction. They had the pieces to be the greatest squad ever assembled, and they threw it all away because nobody wanted to check their ego at the door. Nobody. Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen had their own issues too. But you know what they did? They won 6 championships because winning meant more than pride. Meanwhile, the Lakers picked ego every single time. So next time somebody tells you it was just Kobe and Shaq beefing, tell them the real truth. This was an entire organization choosing greed, ego, and personal agendas over basketball immortality. They could have been better than Jordan's Bull. Instead, they became the biggest what if in sports history, and that's the real tragedy. They did this to themselves. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who loves digging into NBA stories like this.